Let's go over to this example. If you have the module with you, you can go over to this page. Natagihatag na financial statement, income statement, and a balance sheet. So, apart from the financial statement itself, yatagan ko tag mga assumptions. Based on the assumptions, we could now forecast our future financial statement. Okay, so this is the Fighting Corporation. Its income statement first, then following by its balance sheet. When we project or when we forecast, we go back to our assumption and then we compute. So let's try this one. Let's try 6 assumptions. These are the assumptions. And then we will follow the assumption so that we could forecast the next year in the financial statement, the income statement specifically. So as you can see here, the first assumption is that sales are expected to increase by 10% from 2014 sales level. So here, from that information itself, you will now have an idea pila itong sunod nga sales amount. Okay? Gibutan diri sa assumption o say based ganong 10% ang gigamit because it is based on the assessment of the external and internal factors. Yeah. Related to historical growth of the company. Hence, ilang assumption, 10% ang increase sa ilang sales by the next year. So how did we come up with 10%? How will we compute that one? Of course, you go back to our historical data. This is our historical data, 5 million to 50,000, and then you increase by 10%. So that is, ilan may 10% sa 5 million to 50? Times 0.1, so 525,000. So, the increase of 10%, in the following year, the sales is expected to be 5,775,000. So, kung ina ang assumption, by next year, 10%, 10%, 10%. So, you'll just add 10%. So, we will just again follow the assumption. Next assumption, number 2, the company wants to maintain the same gross profit percentage per year. The same daw sa 2014. So, unsa man ang gross profit, guys? I believe you already know this one. Gross profit is the profit after deducting the cost of sales. So, net sales minus cost of sales equals gross profit. So, we will compute bilang percentage may gross profit next year. Last year. Last year is very. So, 945,000. How will you compute the percentage? Gross profit divided by net sales. That is gross profit percentage. I believe you're familiar with that already. So, the cost of sales, or gross profit, 945,000 divided by the net sales, 5 to 50,000. So, that is 0.18 or 18%. So, dapat yung gross profit, 18%. So, we go back to our forecasting. So, here, so dapat si gross profit should be also 18%. So, when we multiply our forecasted net sales, 5,775,000 times 18%. That is the amount of our gross profit, 1,039,500. Okay. So, meaning the cost of sales is 82%. So this one, 4,735,500, 82% of net sales, while the gross profit is 18%. Okay. For the next assumption, number 3, it involves the operating expenses. Accordingly, it composed of variable and fixed, and the operating variable is 5% of the projected sales. So projected sales again is this one. Then you multiply that one to 5%, that is variable. And then the fixed is given 310,000. So 5% of net sales plus 310, hence our total operating expense is 598,750. Okay, so gross profit minus operating expenses, we arrive with our operating income, 440,750. Next assumption, interest expense will increase by 20,000. So we go back to historical data. Interest expense is 250 plus the increase of 20,000 as mentioned by the assumption. So it becomes 270. 250 plus 20, 270. So we'll continue. Operating income minus interest expense, that is income before taxes. So total amount, 170,750. And the taxes were 30%. So 30% of 170,750, 51,225. Okay, so after deducting the taxes, we now arrive with our net income, 119,525. Okay, so ito nga niya ito ang assumptions. So sa tama exam, of course, I will provide you the assumption, and it's up to you how will you apply upon projecting or forecasting the financial statement. When you are given assumptions, you should see to it that you are applying it properly and correctly. Okay. So this one, so for example, sa module, there are 9 assumptions related to our balance sheet. Okay. The introduced steering approach is judgmental approach, which is mo dyan itong gina-apply usually. When we say judgmental approach, we tend to subjectively assess the item. Okay, subjective atong pag-assess. So for example, ganito number 1, accounts receivable. Ino siya, ang balance na sa accounts receivable kay 1/4 of the annual sales. Ganun 1/4 man? Because ilang sales is every 90 days. On average, 90 days. So, i-assume sila nga, ang balance silang accounts receivable is 1/4 of the sales. So that is a subjective approach. Okay? Ilang assumption is based on their that is, it's a professional judgment. Okay? So, yeah. That's why when you go back here, receivable is equal to 1,443,750. Pag-ingani ito ang assumption, guys, using judgmental approach, you will see that your asset will not equal with the sum of your liability and equity. So that's why we use EFN, you see EFN, that is the additional value, kanibitaw, additional value needed para mabalance ang atoang asset side of liabilities and stockholders' equity. So, yeah, it could be negative or positive. So, you see negative, the company has excess cash. And we see positive, yung EFN, the company needs more funds. Okay? So, ibutang na lang siya ninyo. EFN, diri, or if positive, there is a liability. Okay. So, another assumption, the inventory level at the end of the year will decrease significantly by 30%. So, ang tawag inventory, nahimo na lang ko 3,395,000 because may decrease of 30%. Ano itong historical data about sa inventory? For 850, minus 30%, so multiply na lang 70%. So, 3,395,000. Okay? So, that's why it becomes 3,395,000. So, generally, nga na lang ninyo i-apply ang assumption. When you add the asset and liability and equity, thus the equality, if kulang si asset, you use excess cash or EFN plus 1. If kulang si asset, but if kulang si liability and equity, you use again EFN gapon dere sa liability section. Okay. Yeah. So again, when you forecast, guys, it all boils down to the assumption that we are going to use. So the assumption is based on the different factors. It's mentioned to 5. So, any questions so far?